It's early morning in Spring, Texas, a suburb north of Houston, where the weather is mild and semi-tropical. The birds are singing, the flowers are starting to bloom, and the weather is beautiful. So let's take a look inside of my small to medium-sized, I guess you could say, backyard. It is a young garden, but it is hopefully the start of something beautiful. When I come into the entrance, there will be a display of pots right in front of us and flanking the fence behind me. And they will be an array of various different flowers that will bloom through the season. But behind one of our pot displays is the beginning of our flower beds that run along the house and the back fence, basically all around the yard. And the first plant that is planted there is Birds of Paradise, with a pink verbena sitting in front and a gardenia and various other shrubs and plants along the front and sides of it. This border is a section that I still have to work in, but there are some lovely things in it, like the pink salvia that stands tall behind this purple verbena. And this purple is like a jewel purple just shining in the sun. It is so magnificent to look at. And behind that, sitting in front of the windows, are mislimminabelias, and the vibrant punch of lime green from the mislimminabelias is just really lovely in the sunshine. And the purple or burgundy leaves of the lower petalum is going to be perfect in front of it to contrast it. As we move along the border, there's an empty section, which means opportunities for planting, and a lime tree that was given to me, no charge. So I'm going to see if it's going to stay there, what I'm going to do. That whole area is open and up for grabs. As I come along, there are two more mislimminabelias that line the front of the windows there. And then one of my favorite parts of the garden, or is becoming one of my favorites, and that is this back garden, which is very brand new, just literally from late summer, early fall. And this I call the bedroom garden. And when you enter the bedroom garden, it is going to be highlighted with red flowers throughout, but the entrance is going to be a series of evergreens that mark the entrance. That particular one was a jubilation gardenia. These are miniature red roses. Behind the red roses will be some sort of statuary or bird bath, something like that. It will be a structure, something to look at. But these roses are so pretty. While I do not have a scent coming from them, just looking at them, they're so cute and so dainty. And they are flanked by two shrubs that have been there for a couple of years that I did not remove. They have pretty yellow flowers, and they typically grow in zone 10s and warmer, but they're doing fine here. As we move along the edge of the house, we have two red knockout roses centered by a Parsonii juniper, and this is the newest addition, this knockout rose. It is only a few weeks in the ground, and it was planted as a bare root, and you can see the new growth on it. It's just so lovely. There's the Parsonii juniper, and this bed has rock and some gravel in it because of the water that runs off from the roof when we have rains. This is the lowest part of the garden, so it tends to have the most water because everything runs this direction. But when it's not raining, it is going to be beautiful. Well, even in the rain, it's beautiful. These are little Henry spireas, and it's starting to get its spikes. So these are about a year old. So as they mature, they will thicken up and hopefully generate a beautiful scent back here from the flowers. This little Henry spirea is starting to wake up. Very exciting. As we move along, we have pentas, columnar ligustrums, and red hibiscus that will be lining this back fence. Just a beautiful sight it's going to be. Look at that. And flanking the walkway are daylilies. These are orange lilies that were planted the year before. I will not be removing them because I feel like that orange will be a nice blend with the red flowers. This is a lantana. It was just like the lilies already planted. It will not be moving for right now, but it will add its own pop of color and beauty in this garden. And at the very back there is an Italian cypress. Picture that grandeur of the Italian cypress sticking up among all of these beautiful red flowers. Its height and everything, it's going to be so pretty. There's another Parsonii juniper, and there's another double red knockout rose sitting right at the entrance on this side. Now I seem to have lost my Eugenia ball topiaries. Only 2 of them are showing some new growth, but I'm going to replace them. But until then, we're still going to enjoy this garden as it is. I can't wait to see all of the beautiful red flowers. This circle bed is centered with an orange tree, and the outer edge has red verbena. And as it grows, I'm hoping that it does as well as the purple verbena that is at the front entrance of the garden. If it grows and produces a show like the purple verbena, it's going to be so beautiful to have a full circle of that red surrounding the orange tree. Look at the beautiful flowers there. And that empty spot is where I'm going to be putting more jubilation gardenias. That is going to close off this entire back bed, back section, and make it like its own garden room. And while this orange tree has struggled from the 2 frosts we got during the winter, it is showing signs of life and it is trying to come back. So we are grateful for that. And once it matures, those pretty white flowers and the smell of it, in addition to the smell from the little Henry spirea, it's just going to be wonderful in that garden. Here we have some pops of annuals in the form of vincas and cosmos, but the star of this particular bed is this crepe myrtle. The rich burgundy leaves of this is so pretty, and it has pink flowers. It's called coral, but it is a very pretty pink. And so just outside of the bedroom garden, you have the crepe myrtle on one side, and you have some annuals surrounding this iceberg rose tree. And again, these are verbena. Those are cosmos and vinca. And let's not forget the little lovely strawberry plants hanging on the fence. And here are the iceberg rose trees. These were planted around December or January, so they're very new, but I think they were a good choice, and having them sit just at the entrance to the vegetable garden is perfect, and the scent of the roses is just heavenly. Again, we have more strawberries in pots hanging on the fence, just a cute little addition with Vinca and Cosmos surrounding this second rose tree. And look at how beautiful these iceberg roses are. Look at that center there. Very pretty. And such a lovely scent. I can't say enough about the scent. But we have this Eleanor Tabor hawthorn right here, an Indian hawthorn, and it smells so good, and the flowers are so cute and dainty. So to have this gloriously smelling shrub sitting right in front of the wonderful smell of the iceberg roses leaves an area in the garden that just is so perfect to walk through. It helps to enhance the senses, and not just our visual sense, but our smell. This is a Meyer lemon, and it was hit a little bit from the frost, but as you can see, it is coming back, and it did not suffer as much as the orange tree. And we have this part of the walk here with more annuals, Cosmos and Vincas in alternating colors of pink, sitting in front of this plumbago, which once it grows out will fill in this whole area and will touch the Meyer lemon, so it will be a really pretty display. And back there is a little plug of yarrow that I took from another yarrow in the yard. There was one there, but it did not make it, so I'm just replacing it with a little plug from another yarrow. But guys, visualizing this wonderful garden, I just can't wait to see everything in full bloom. This little corner is a combination of flowers and herbs. We've got rosemary, oregano, thyme, yarrow, lamb's ear, along with, well, first let's stop before we even go mention anything else. Take a look at that lamb's ear. It's so pretty. And we've got something coming up back there that is either echinacea or black-eyed Susan. I can't remember which one, but it is one of the two. And at the very, very back is a sunshine ligustrum sitting next to Blue Point junipers with roses alternating in between the Blue Point junipers. That is an onion that is mixed in this section with the other herbs. That's a toothache plant. Behind it is Mexican tarragon. And next to the onion is another daylily, followed by yellow coreopsis, and again it's either rudbeckia or echinacea. But these pink roses, they're the star of the show back here. There's plenty of buds and blooms, and the color is so rich and vibrant. I just love it. And sitting in front of it is oregano, which may seem like an odd pairing, but it actually really looks nice. And the space in front of the oregano is perfect for some small annuals, but I have to be cautious because there's a sprinkler head right there. As we come on down, we have another daylily. We have some more yarrow, which is ready to bloom. Look at the buds. So pretty. There's another rosemary. This, I can't remember what the name of it is, but it's very pretty and a very rich color. That spot is where a Superbena was, and I'll be putting another one there of another color. I had Superbena pink cashmere there. It is going to be replaced, and next to it are the lamb's ear, another lily, sunshine ligustrum in the back, another oregano sitting right at the entrance to this back garden, and in this spot we have purple fountain grass, and as you can see, it is starting to come back. As we go to the other side of this back entrance to this back garden, there's another purple fountain grass. In front of that is a plumbago. And then the outer edge of that small little bed is flanked with lilies. When we come across to the other side, we have a lantana coming up. We gotta move the stick out the way so we can get a good view. There is another yarrow ready to bloom. Lilies, onions, and the onions have the prettiest white little flowers that smell really good. And those are sedum angelinas flanking a euonymus, and that is a miniature euonymus. It will only grow to be about 4 feet tall. And that is the walkway and back garden area. Now we're going to come to a section that is also fairly new, that was created in November 2023, but nothing's really been done to it. So we're going to start here at the entrance. Right behind the trellis is a clematis, and I can't remember what kind it is, but it will be hopefully beautiful once it climbs that trellis. There is a tree, a very large tree, right here behind the fence in my neighbor's yard. This tree has large roots that come under the fence and into our yard, and the roots are actually above ground, but I've covered them with the wood mulch, and because the roots are kind of taking over this area, I didn't try to plant anything right there. So I just put grasses and lilies because I knew that they would be able to grow there. This is a trailing lantana. It is perfect for hanging baskets, but I have it in the ground, and it is literally going to spread and take over that whole area. Here is another sunshine ligustrum, and as we come along the walk, this is a mum. It is a yellow mum with a reed grass, lilies. These are all day lilies. And all of the lilies in the yard right now are the same color. They are beautiful orange. We also have some grasses, liriope grasses. And that, if you were following me during my winter videos, November, December, is a drain that I found. So I was so happy to find a drain so that I can clear it out and make sure this back area drains well, because it used to hold water so badly. But as we go past the lilies and grasses, we have another mum, as you can see, and then another sunshine ligustrum. So one on each side of this bed. And the empty space in the middle, we'll figure out what to plant. There will be an evergreen, maybe more blue point junipers. That was another lantana. And at the end of the bed, lastly, another lily. This back bed was originally not a bed. It was what I used. It was a spot I used to just dump soil. And I decided, since I had enough soil there, let's make a bed. So I grabbed some rock I had around the yard, outlined it, and I made a new flower bed. So I will be planting it with something evergreen, so there's always an interest back there. Maybe another sunshine ligustrum, I don't know, but right now I just stuck a couple lilies in there, and I need to, get it freshened up, get some nice soil in there, compost, and get something planted. But I think it can be a really cute little bed with a shrub and maybe annuals along the outer edge. We need new siding on our garage, so I have not planted anything large in front of it. I just have lilies and grasses, and there are hostas in there. They have not come up yet, but they are in there. And that is another drain that I found. So this area was another area that held water and just was not growing anything. It just had a lot of moss on the ground. So we have a gravel walkway, we have flower beds, we have this center circle bed, which will have some kind of showpiece there. I'm not sure what yet. And here is the bed that flanks the back door to our garage. Again, lilies. The middle part is empty because we have to replace the siding, and I don't want something really big in the way just yet. But there's more lilies flanking it, and we have some coreopsis in this bed. Right here is a lantana. It's another trailing lantana that I thought was killed when they were digging in our yard for fiber optic cable, but it survived. And this is a honeysuckle. This will climb this trellis and give us hopefully some very beautiful flowers that will have a wonderful scent. It did very good last year, so I'm hoping that it will do great for us this year. This is what I call the long border, and there's nothing here now. This is a future project. Those trellises will come down. We'll put some trellises up there and grow some kind of beautiful vines and have a showpiece of a long border there. And that brings us back around to the front. And these flower pots, the lantanas, were taken from the front garden. This is a gazania. I have no experience with it, but I look forward to growing it. It doesn't grow very tall. 10 to 12 inches is its max height, but everything's so beautiful. And we don't want to forget about the vegetable garden. These beds, as you know, are brand new. They were just put in February and March, and so I'm still in the process of filling them. But these beds in the front here in the ground, I have already planted. This is African basil, and it is already calling the bees into the garden. This is my little gardening girl. She's watering flowers for me. This is an orange habanero, another African basil, and at the back are 2 red habanero plants. So we got a lot of habaneros last year. I still have a ton in the freezer, so hopefully I'll get another bounty this year. This bed hasn't been planted yet because we have to fix the sprinkler in the corner, but it will contain vegetables like collards, kale, mustard. This bed is half full. We filled it with leaves, have to top it with compost. But until then, we're going to work with what we have. And right now what we have are some wonderful blackberries starting to come up from our blackberry plants. These blackberries are about 4 years old. This plant, I have 3 of them along the fence in these pots, and they have always given us a wonderful bounty of berries. Never failed us. This little bed I call my pocket bed, and I have some herbs here. I have thyme, dill, cilantro, another thyme with a marigold in the center, and 2 sweet alyssum. And on some days you can walk through here and catch a whiff of the sweet alyssum, and it smells so nice. Here is chamomile, catnip for my Tika, stevia, and sage. Again, we have marigold in the center with 2 sweet alyssums. Now, this was the first bed we got filled up, and I am trialing a couple of broccoli and cabbage species to see if these will do good for me. But the rest of this bed I have planted with seedlings, and all around the outer edge are cabbage with in the 2 corners a couple little seeds of broccoli. My tomato, as you could see, is starting to produce. All around that outer edge there, that's where I have the seeds for the cabbage. But I have also this Kentucky Wonder bean plant that I have not planted yet. I have to get to it. I have more tomato plants over here. I have 2 medium-sized tomato plants. I didn't get any this year that get really, really big. And then I have these 2 smaller ones. They are called patio tomatoes, and again, we're starting to produce and get us some fruits, so I'm excited. Also on this side, this is the second bed, we have onions all around the outer edge of this bed. In the center we have a bell pepper, which is starting to get little peppers growing. They're tiny little ones, so exciting to see. And right there and right there I have seeds for more bell pepper plants. So the goal is to have 3 bell peppers growing in that bed. And look guys, the carrots are starting to sprout. I have carrot seeds planted all along the outer edge of this bed, and they are starting to sprout. Take a look at that. So exciting when you plant seed and you finally see it come up. It's rewarding and it's exciting. But in addition to the carrots, I have another bell pepper plant, and again it is starting to produce little buds as well. And then I have seeds there and there, so hopefully we will get more bell pepper plants coming up for a total of 6. Here's my second blackberry bush, and it is doing very well. As you can see, it's flowering and fruiting, just what we want. And the last one here is my third blackberry bush. And in this back corner is my second honeysuckle. I used to have my arbor flanked with a honeysuckle on each side, but I decided I wanted a combination of things going up the arbor. So one side will have clematis, the other side will have honeysuckle. This back bed, I have it lined with lilies, but the front is going to be where I will plant like my okra and other taller vegetables. And last but definitely not least is my blueberry bush. This bed will be a blueberry bed. I will have one right here and I will have one right here. But for now, the one we have, look at it. It was full of lovely little bell-shaped flowers over the last couple of weeks. But now those flowers are gone and it is starting to fruit. So I hope it gives us a good bounty of blueberries. So I'm excited about that. But guys, that is my whole backyard. And as you stand in this vegetable garden, you can look back and see the courtyard garden all of the way in the back. And you can just view the entire garden from this point. It's beautiful.